Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a role that's absolutely crucial in the business world, but let's be honest, is often totally misunderstood. We are going to demystify the role of the business analyst. Okay, so picture this. You're at a dinner party or maybe a family gathering, and someone asks what you do. You tell them, I'm a business analyst, and then you see it. That polite nod, the slightly blank stare, and then, without fail, this exact question. Every BA out there knows this moment is coming. And that's the honest truth, isn't it? It's a genuinely tough role to explain in a soundbite. You know, if you say you work in IT, suddenly everyone wants you to fix their Wi-Fi. If you say you're an interface between the business and IT, you just get even more confused looks. The struggle is real. So you try an example. You say something like, you know your online banking app? A business analyst helped figure out what that should do. But that usually just leads to this follow-up question. It's a totally fair assumption, but it also gets right to the heart of the misunderstanding. And this is the golden answer. It's simple, it's direct, and it immediately draws a really clear line in the sand. In just one sentence, you've captured the core of the job. It's not about physically building the thing, it's about creating the blueprint so the builders know what to build in the first place. Okay, so with that simple explanation locked in, let's zoom in a bit. We're going to look at the more formal definition and really dig into the central metaphor that perfectly explains where the business analyst fits into the whole puzzle. At its heart, this is what it's all about. A business analyst looks at the entire system, not just the tech, but the people using it and the workflows they follow. They're constantly asking, how can we make all these moving parts work together better to actually hit our big picture goals? It's all about understanding problems, finding the real needs, and then defining the solutions. And this right here, this is probably the best way to visualize the role. The BA is a bridge. On one side of the canyon, you've got the business world, talking about big strategic goals like, we need to increase customer retention by 15%. And way over on the other side, you've got the IT team who needs super specific, functional requirements to build anything. The business analyst is that critical structure connecting the two. So what does it mean to be a bridge in the real world? Well, it means you're a translator. A great BA has to be fluent in two different languages, the language of business strategy and the language of technology. They take those big, fuzzy goals and translate them into a detailed, actionable blueprint that developers can actually use to build something that solves a real-world problem. But here's where things can get a little muddy. The title business analyst has that very common word in it, analyst. And there are a lot of different analyst jobs out there. So to really get what a business analyst does, we need to see how they're different from the others. Okay, let's just break it down. As you can see, the business analyst, their main gig is that bridge between business needs and IT solutions. A systems analyst, they're going to be way more focused on the technical nitty-gritty. A process analyst lives and breathes workflows and efficiency. Your data analyst is digging into the numbers for insights, and a business consultant is looking at the super high-level strategy. Each one has a very different focus. Now, here's the crucial thing to remember. While those roles look neat and tidy in a chart, the real world is messy. A good business analyst often has to put on different hats. On any given day, they might be doing a bit of process mapping, digging into some data, or thinking about system design. It's an incredibly versatile role. And that versatility, it can actually lead to a really common and, frankly, pretty dangerous idea. The misconception that the BA role isn't really a specialty, that, anyone on the project team can just do it. Let's tackle that one head on. This is probably the one you hear the most. The thinking kind of goes, well, the developers are building it, so they must know what to build, right? I mean, it seems efficient to let them just define the work themselves, but this is a classic trap with some serious downsides. And here's what almost always happens. When a developer writes the requirements, they naturally think in terms of technology, how the database should be structured, what APIs to use. The actual why, the business problem we were trying to solve in the first place, it gets lost in translation. The focus shifts from solving a need to just building a feature. Okay, so what about the other side of the coin? Can't the project managers or the people who will actually use the system just write down what they need? I mean, they know what they want, right? This is another one that sounds good in theory, but it's super risky in practice. The thing is, defining requirements is a specific skill set. It's a discipline. It takes a structured, analytical mind to dig deep, uncover the real needs, challenge the hidden assumptions, and spot when two requests actually contradict each other. Without that specialist, you don't get a clear set of requirements. You get a messy wish list, and that can send a project spinning out of control. So this brings us to the real heart of it all. If you can't just hand this job off to someone else, what's the actual tangible value that a skilled, dedicated business analyst brings to an organization? Why does this role matter so much? A professional BA is a massive force multiplier for success. They make sure everyone is working from the same playbook because the requirements are crystal clear. They're masters at managing the competing demands from all the different stakeholders. They don't just take orders, they look for ways to improve the whole process. And maybe most importantly, they spot problems and risks early, which saves a fortune in costly rework down the line. So, if you take one thing away, let it be this. The business analyst is not a passive role. They are not just scribes in a meeting writing down what everyone says. They are active problem solvers. They are facilitators who bring people together, and they are strategists who make sure the work being done actually pushes the company forward. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? This is the ultimate cost of not having a skilled BA involved. You risk pouring tons of time, money, and energy into building a solution that doesn't solve the right problem, is built inefficiently, or completely misses its chance to make an impact. The BA is your insurance policy against that kind of disaster. So I'll leave you with a question to chew on. Think about your next big project, a new piece of software, a change to your process, whatever it is. Think about that bridge between what the business wants and what technology can deliver. Who is building that bridge for you? And how could a dedicated business analyst completely transform your chances of success? If you're looking to dive deeper into that very question, the source for this explainer, The Essential Business Analyst, Mastering Business Analysis in the AI Age, is a fantastic resource. We've dropped a link in the description for you. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, it would be awesome if you hit that like button and subscribe for more.